Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you on Friday, September 21st for this week's market wrap-up. Fascinating week in the markets and a little interesting trading activity today. So let's dive in and keep you posted on what happened. In the U.S., Dow Jones closing at 26,719, the S&P at 2929, NASDAQ at 7986. Quick look at Europe, we see the DAX up almost 1% on the day to 12,430. In Asia, Nikkei up almost 1% to 23,869. Big day on the Shanghai index, 2797. And the crude oil contract closing up 55% again, 55 cents, almost 1% at 70.87. Interesting to note the euro getting a little more expensive, up to about 117.5 almost, and the Japanese yen at 112 to the dollar. So a quick look here at the U.S. 10-year Treasury. As you can see over on the right, it's reached again as high as 3.08% today. I'm sure there is wild trading going on there, especially with all of the geopolitical events happening. And again, I'll reiterate that a simple way of thinking about it is that the more the rates go up, more likely the bubbles are to pop, and the sooner that would be to happen. A look over at precious metals. Well, certainly that news has not been priced into precious metals yet. Gold just below 1,200 and silver closing at 1,433. Again, for both metals in many cases, right about what it costs to get them out of the ground. So should prices stay in those ranges, certainly will continue to put a strain on the supply of metal that's mined going forward. Here, looking at the cryptos, a lot of them rallying. Ripple up again big today. Bitcoin currently 67.36, with Litecoin almost at $61 now. Big day for Litecoin, up 12.5% over the last 24 hours. So again, when will you see bigger moves in the cryptos or metals? I think we've kind of reached a binary situation where perhaps until we really see some resolution to some of these bubbles, maybe they'll just both sit in this range for a while. Yet certainly, as we'll dig into and have talked about in recent videos, all the things that are happening have pushed the system to a point where when it does break, certainly then it may be the market taking, or nature taking the market by force. Yet if the current system is flawed and we need a replacement, or some way to continue doing commerce, then certainly metals and cryptos make a lot of sense to me. Here's an interesting article on CNBC. Investors keep pouring money into bonds and are paying a big price for it. Certainly not going well if you're owning bonds and seeing the yield go up, which means the value of the bond is going down. And given the dynamic that the Fed is supposedly going to continue raising interest rates, we'll get a little more clarity on that next week when they have one of their meetings. Yeah, it's certainly, I would be very cautious about piling into bond funds, especially even though we've had a couple rate hikes over the past year. Yields still, even that's a big story that they're crossing 3%, which is historically low, let alone given the context of the expanded money supply and debt loads. So there's the article if you want to dig into that one. For all of the crypto fans out there, good video from Bix Weir this week as it is slowly loading up there. Basically about perhaps swapping Bitcoin for Litecoin. Perhaps a simple way of putting it in perspective is it's similar to what Miles Franklin offers now, where there's a gold for silver swap, with many feeling that gold, while it will still do well, that silver, based on the fact that it's an 85-to-1 ratio now, when silver comes out of the Earth's crust at a 17-to-1 ratio. Factor in that many of the well-respected silver figures in the industry that I've heard from all feel that there's actually less above ground silver than gold. So again, many feel at 85 to 1, it's a good swap to trade gold for silver. Similar with Bitcoin for Litecoin. When you look at the basic technology and the number of coins that are out there for each one, and then also thinking about whether Bitcoin or Litecoin is more facilitated to actually be used for transactions. I do like the idea of Litecoin over Bitcoin at this point, but take a look at that video. You can see the title, hashtag Litecoin 4 to 1, swap your Bitcoin for Litecoin. Now here's an interesting story. Metalon may pay suppliers in gold amid Zimbabwe cash shortage. Metalon is considering paying mining equipment suppliers in gold because of a cash shortage. Is interesting, just pointing out maybe they're small in the beginning, but you continue to see more and more stories, whether it's Russia dumping their treasuries and continuing to buy gold, or the other examples that I come on and talk about every day. But here you see where there are problems with the currency system, again, turning to gold. Not all that dissimilar in Iran, where again, you see the law of the unintended consequences, where the U.S. has sanctioned Iran and tried to shut them out of the dollar system, and they're taking their oil and more trading it for gold. So fascinating to see all of these things unfolding at this time. When we reach that break point, I'm continue to be curious if something happens before the election, given the geopolitics and the degree to which I have come to believe that there are a lot of things planned at a higher level that we don't see on CNBC or the Wall Street Journal yet, whether that means some type of reset, or are we close to a break point in gold and silver. Certainly, I'm not the guy out there selling those VIX options at whatever it's trading at low level today. And will be an interesting next month and a half. I'm sure the rhetoric and news will be nothing short of fascinating. And lastly, as always, today's video is sponsored by Miles Franklin. So if you are interested in purchasing gold and silver, you can visit milesfranklin.com or call 1-800-822-8080. And so with that said, I hope you're getting ready to have a great weekend. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you on Monday.